Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station, Lincoln Park. Sorry, we were chatting off air a little bit there. Been doing a lot of that this morning. A lot of, don't get me wrong, we always talk off air, but this is more...
No, we just like to sit in dead silence.
Yeah, dead silence.
In between songs.
Awkward. Like the time you told us that because you grew up this way, you do not talk, play music, or the TV during dinner. You sit at your dining room table in your apartment in St. P in dead absolute silence and stare at the wall in front of you with your plate of vegetables, and that's how you eat dinner every single day.
Yeah.
It's because she lives alone.
Yeah, but pop the TV on.
Yeah.
Pop some music on.
No, only here. Only here will she talk while she eats. That doesn't happen outside of work. No, nothing.
I just think it's important to enjoy the meal that you made.
Yeah,
right,
no kidding.
Silence.
So God knows you can't have TV on or a song. I don't know. I can't enjoy my meal and listen to music at the same time. That would be too enjoyable. This is the time I get to talk to my cats. Just me and my two cats. Yeah. And listen. And they have no choice but to listen.
Nothing ruins a good meal like some TV or music.
You're not kidding.
Absolutely nothing. You know what? I can't imagine being told as an adult, like, no TV. There's no TV. Like the TV, I guess, you know what? I can see that when you're having when you have a family meal, like shut the TV off. My mom used to always, like there'd be
holidays and
right. The famous one was there'd be like a big hockey game on, like during the playoffs especially, and we'd want because the living room was really close to where we ate dinner.
Sure.
And my old man would want that. I remember this fight. My old man wanted the TV on so he could at least hear the game.
Right.
Because we weren't eating in front of that TV. Old school.
Then the argument is, if you're not listening to us, why should you be able to hear the game?
That's right.
Yeah.
This is family time.
So maybe that's what needed to happen at the Aubrey household or the Aiello household at the time. No TV, no radio, no talking, just eat.
Dead silence.
Just dead silence and eat.
Well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because when I was visiting my brother last week in Alberta at his place, his fiance there said, oh, are we sitting at the table tonight? Or are we sitting in front of the TV at the couches? Because your brother likes to sit at the table with the TV off. And I said,
yes.
I said, that's how I eat.
The TV up? Okay.
Hi, I'm Shalinda Kirby. I'm here for my reservation, 5 o'clock, silent dinner. Well, sorry, ma'am. We're not going to be able to keep everything quiet here at the restaurant for you today.
Joe, those back rooms are expensive. She gets her own. Like the party rooms?
Yeah, you book the party room by yourself.
Just for one.
Well, ma'am, it's for 100 people.
Excuse me. There's a little noise coming from the kitchen. I like dead silence when I eat.
Yeah, anything. He brings her own egg cartons in to muff the sound down in the restaurant.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Call the Bone phone, 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
You're only in Winnipeg and you go somewhere and there's no traffic, but the red lights that you stop at every 2 blocks makes you like an hour late for everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Synchronization of the lights in Winnipeg has long been a complaint. We've had mayors, I think, say they're going to fix it. I want to say Mayor Bowman. They don't quote me on that, but anyway.
I believe you're right.
City officials have said that. I think we've had reviews and promises that it'll get better, but still to this day, red light. You go 10 yards, red light. 10 more yards, red light.
You know what? Honestly, I think I can save everybody some money, and all you need to do is have each city councilor in their jurisdiction hit the main thoroughfares first. Let's start with those. And when they find out that they can't go from one light to the next on green because it stops them every 30 feet, then you know we need to get that street fixed with synchronization. And then if everybody just hands in their information, then we'll just fix that.
It'd be nice. It would be
I feel
nice.
like you're asking for a lot.
Dare to dream. Dennis the Menace. This is for those who have a back lane, like back lane parking pad, I assume.
Hey, good morning, PJK. This message is for anybody in Winnipeg that has a back lane. Trim the trees, branches, whatever the hell you got growing in your back lane. Trim it for other people. It's called being a good neighbor. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, you see that in some back lanes where the grass is not along the back fence there.
Yep.
It's knee high in a lot of situations.
Marshland.
Yeah.
Natural habitat. Killer for mosquitoes and ticks.
Oof. And it gets long enough and you spin like that for a while, you get frogs in there.
I can't blame some people, though, because I still, to this day, after years of cutting grass, can't figure out how to use the trimmer. Once that spool goes, I can't replace a spool on those things. I'm telling you.
Okay, the hooligan. Of all the people I would think, would be the type of person to lend money. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but just it seems like another annoyance in his life waiting for the money to be paid back. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So anyway, that's...
Yeah.
Story I'm about to tell you, I'm sure a lot of people have gone through, is when a good friend asked to borrow some money till payday. So a good friend, a couple weeks ago, asked me if I could loan him $250. And it was on a Monday.
Good friend. 2
weeks ago. He said pay me back on Friday. So I said okay. And then he asked for another $60 in between that, so he owed me $310. So Friday comes, afternoon, evening, nothing. So I text him. I go, hey, where's my money? His reply was, hey, hold on. I just woke up. I had a shitty day. I've been sleeping all evening. I had a real bad headache. I said, well, I don't give a shit. Where's my money? This was Friday of the long weekend. He says, he can't access his account. I'm like, oh, here we go. Then comes Saturday. I said, well, where's my money? He says, he missed the email that the CIBC would be no access this weekend due to updates and blah, blah, blah. Like, bullshit, Lo and behold, I got the money. The thing is, you know what? But it's a good friend, family. I ain't borrowed anybody a penny ever again. To chase people down for $310. Okay, goodbye. Woo!
Oh my God. I would be terrified to ask that dude for even just $5.
You got to look at it the other way, though. If you've borrowed somebody money and they've come to you and said it's coming on a certain day and you have to hunt them down, it's the worst feeling in the world because you should never have to hunt them down. It's a terrible position to be put in, and I totally get where Hooligan's coming from on that one, especially when you get a BS answer like, I don't know, it's a long weekend. Come on.
I hate owing anybody anything. Like, even if somebody's like, hey, like when my cousin booked our tattoo appointments, I had to send her an e-transfer for the down payment, and I immediately did it because I'd be like, I don't want to owe anybody anything.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and in today's day and age of e-transfers, there's really no excuse not to pay someone back.
Well, unless your banking app is down.
Well, okay, but this guy had all kinds of problems with the bank.
He had a lousy day. He was sleeping.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Opening up social media this morning and noticed that the trailer, I would assume this is the first trailer for Gladiator 2.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just going through it right now. Pedro Pascal, Denzel Washington.
So no Russell Crowe.
No.
Well, no, he died at the end of spoiler alert.
Okay.
It's the new dude that's taken over.
Wow, Phil, way to spoil the whole... I know it's been like 10 years since it's been out, but...
It's a Ridley Scott, is it not, movie? And
the first one certainly was.
Yeah, I think he's the guy behind this one, too. It's because it's been so long. But apparently this one's star-studded, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I say, Denzel and Pedro Pascal.
You had me at Pedro.
Yeah, he's awesome. Pedro Pascal is one of those brilliant actors. He'll win an Oscar someday. I'm convinced. He's so good in everything he's in.
He's actually filming The Last of Us Season 2 right now in Vancouver.
Are you on board with The Last of Us? I can't remember if you jumped.
That's like the
in?
one show you and I have together.
Oh, that's a big deal. Okay. So anyway, I'm needless to say, pumped for Gladiator 2. Now, you obviously saw the first one, Kirby. I know.
Probably like when it first came out. What year did it come out? The first one? It would have been like what, early 2000s. I remember it being like huge in terms of like the marketing.
If you don't remember Russell Crowe dying in it, you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well,
because it was a pretty big part of the movie. I didn't want to answer it for you, but
like really.
Probably.
Was it an epic death that I was supposed to remember?
Well, it's kind of,
A big deal.
It was, main character.
Because I do get that one mixed up with 300. I will say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that could be.
The year 2000 was Gladiator.
Right.
Okay.
So, and it was, again, I think you'd remember it. It was epic. It was, again, the dying scene was epic. So probably you didn't.
Did somebody get kicked into a hole?
That's 300 again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Confusing.
See, I get.
Yeah, no.
The two of them were so alike.
That's fine. I'll play you a clip from the
Okay.
original Gladiator.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Yeah, that was an epic scene.
You know why? Because he threw out all his names, all three of them. And usually when you get that kind of intensity, like most people don't usually go into that great detail. But he
Exodus,
introduced
Maximus,
himself.
whatever the hell it was.
Decimus Meridius.
Oh, right there.
Meridius.
Yeah.
Once Joe only does that, when would you say in life you throw out all three of your names? Joe?
Really, when I'm that intense in the battle, usually in the battle or in the middle of a battle, you know what I mean? Just before I really get revved up, I throw out all three names. And then, so
Okay, so we're all fired up. We'll put that trailer up at the 92.1 City Facebook page.
mark it down right now, November 22nd. I checked on the date for you. That's
Okay.
the release in theaters.
Excellent. And you got to see it. So it sounds like, I mean,
I'm going to have to brush up. I'm going to probably rewatch it.
do the
Rewatch it. You mean watch it?
We've determined.
It will be like watching it for the first time.
You didn't see it. We've determined
No,
that.
there's no way.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This on the text message nails it about Kirby being unsure about whether she saw a movie like Gladiator. That's just not a movie you would be unsure about. You like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
all due respect, and clearly it means a lot more to Joe and I would say men in general. It's one of those male. Like if you did a percentage of what genre or what the demographics of who this movie means most to, I would say your average male 92.1 City listener, it means a lot more to us. Now, I should say my wife loved the movie too, but I just think men will walk around quoting the movie for sure.
Yeah, and the scenery in the movie and the fight scenes, like it was a big epic movie to check out. And you were like, I actually pointed this out, and then it came up on the Boston Pizza text line. I said, Kirby, you would have been like 11 years old when the movie came out.
So we have determined, and not knowing about Russell Crowe and whether he lived or not, like because you said, I think I saw it, and we're like, no, there's no way you saw it.
But I have one of those memories, I am like Dory from Finding Nemo. I like one thing in and one thing out. So I could have watched Gladiator last weekend and forgot about it by now.
No, you didn't. Tell us a little bit of something about the movie then.
Gladiator?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is like a stadium.
The
Okay.
Roman Colosseum.
Yes.
That's on the movie poster. So,
There's a bit of a reach. You're telling me there was the Coliseum? Wow.
So there's a stadium, and then there's like they're fighting, and Russell Crowe is the main character. And that's all I could tell you, really.
yeah. And it seems like you got 300. In your defense, a lot of people started to blur a lot of those two movies together a little
Did
bit.
they come around the same time? Though?
I don't think so. But
Okay.
sort of.
I just remember when 300 came out. That
was a huge epic too.
There was a lot of people that would yell like, "I am Sparta."
Yeah, this is Sparta.
Okay, well, you know.
Is Sparta! But yeah, you seem to have those two a little bit confused. And it's funny you mentioned that because it's tomorrow's Thursday Throwdown. And I think in honor of Gladiator, maybe we should put, just a thought, you guys can think about this, Leonidas versus Maximus. Would that be a good Thursday Throwdown matchup?
I think so.
Yeah. You sure you're not thinking of Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind or something?
That was a great movie.
That was a great movie. It came out, I think, a year after Gladiator. He was red hot back then. That's a good idea, doing 300 against Gladiator tomorrow. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what
I think it's a great idea.
Is there a Coliseum in A Beautiful Mind?
Well, it's a stadium.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Check. You want to give me a check, Joe?
Check 1, 2. I'll give you some cash.
You want to shut that? You want to shut that door? Can you write me a check, Joe?
Absolutely.
Do you have a checkbook on you at all times, just in case?
No, I have it at home. How much would
good.
you like? You don't want to pay the interest, I'll tell you that.
I just read that in Target in the U.S. that they have now officially gone away from checks. You can no longer write a check at Target in the U.S.
Wow, I didn't even know you could.
I know. I had to do a double take. I'm like,
just now saying they won't take checks.
You want to be that person, too, in line at the cash register. Hold on. How much? Hold on. Tip the pen on your tongue there and just write out the check. Who do I make it to? Just a Target?
Just Target Incorporated or what? And then when they tell you we don't do checks anymore, you got to start a scene. Like, what are you talking about? I'm writing checks
all
here.
I do is pay with checks.
I got to tell you, I was at Target recently on one of my trips to the States with my kids' hockey. It's not what it used to be, man.
No.
Like, you used to go down, like I bush beans, and you can get bush beans in Canada, but in the States, they have like, usually you go down the aisle and they have like a whole aisle. Back, like I'm talking a few years ago, a whole aisle dedicated to bush beans, like different grilling beans and this and that. And I would load up, and this most recent trip, and maybe it was just the Target I was at, I don't know, but they had the same selection of bush beans we have at friggin' Sobeys by my house. I was
They
like,
took
what?
Super right out of Super Target for you, did they?
Hey, I want to make sure we mention this here on PJK Extra. Tomorrow, Thursdays. We'll go with Thursdays on the program. It's Throwdown Thursday.
Yeah.
The next Throwdown Thursday is going to be a biggie. It's going to be Maximus versus Leonidas. And this comes up, this matchup, because of the new Gladiator movie, the trailer. The Gladiator 2 is coming out in November 22nd, I think you said.
Yeah, full of stars, too, like more than even the original had. And this has been a long time in the making, right? Mm-hmm. It'll be, almost 25 years.
Yeah, because 2000, I believe, the original Gladiator came out.
Wow.
The reason I'm bringing this up is we're going to have to find a way to get John Wick in we like your suggestions for Throwdown Thursday, some matchups maybe that you want to hear, because John Wick's got to get in there. They had a John Wick marathon on the weekend.
Yeah,
and
all four?
I think I only made it to 3, and I figured I better get my ass off the couch.
4 is a long one. 4 is a long one. Limited dialogue, but lots of fighting.
Like zero dialogue. Like there's a fight every 30 seconds in a John Wick movie. Would you say?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
and all
go
in a suit.
Yeah, all in that same suit, and he doesn't go for like a carton of milk. Well, they don't show him going for a carton of milk. I think that would be hilarious, but they don't. He doesn't go anywhere without getting into a fight.
Maybe that's why there could never be a Throwdown Thursday. Can you think of somebody in that world that wears a suit through every action scene and has made it through 4 movies? Like, who do you compare that to? There might not be a Throwdown.
That's actually valid.
I think John Wick would win no matter who we put him against. The one that popped into my mind to put up against John Wick eventually would be Jason Bourne. And I don't know. Do you think Bourne would get some votes, or would that be? Like you've seen the John Wick movies, right, Kirby?
Yeah, I've seen all of them, yeah.
Okay, so you're right up to date. You've seen the Bourne movies, I'm assuming.
Yes, Jason Bourne movies, yep.
That's a cool name, too. John Wick and Jason Bourne are both cool names.
Both good, strong names.
I don't know. I think it would be like basically putting Hulk Hogan in the ring against Barry Horowitz, or the Brooklyn Brawler. I think it'd be like a jobber match.
I think a lot of our listeners would go with Wick, but I think when you really think about it, remember how tough Bourne was?
Yeah,
like Bourne won every fight and he fought some tough guys, and he was fast. Like some of the moves Bourne had,
more cerebral.
Yeah.
We're going
to do it eventually.
But John Wick grew up in a Russian, the backstory there. I mean,
can you think of someone who would be better off to go up against Wick?
I can't right now. You just sprung this on us. I'm still stuck in Target in the U.S. in the beans aisle.
I still have to figure out what Gladiator is about.
Well, we know you have. Okay, so if you missed it, Kirby claims she thinks she saw Gladiator. Joe and I have...
Well, the clincher for us was when she asked if Russell Crowe was in this one.
Well, I get confused with characters sometimes.
Yes. And we told her that no, spoiler alert, Russell Crowe died in the first one. But
she was 11 when it came out.
That's right. She has not seen Gladiator.
No.
But 300 I have.
300 with Leonidas, you have.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an interesting matchup, Leonidas. I think I'd go Leonidas, and that's saying a lot because Gladiator's tough. Like Maximus is pretty tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do my research.
Yeah, you make sure you research that.
I'm researching it.
I
Okay.
guess that means you have to watch Gladiator tonight before the big throwdown Thursday.
Well, I might skim it.
Skim. Oh, yeah. That's PJK Extra.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
How's your toilet functioning this morning, Joe? Everything's A-okay?
Mine seemed to flush properly when I left the facility out in Charleswood this morning. Yeah, thanks
Perfect.
for asking.
Yeah, mine's...
Yours has. Well,
Everything's-
let me ask. How's your bathroom situation, your toilet specifically?
Yeah, no problems. I had a pee this morning. Everything seemed to... I did have to fix some of the inner workings of the tank recently, like in the last month. But otherwise, as of today, it's going well. Kirby, how's your toilet tank?
Yeah.
How's things with your toilet this morning?
Falling apart like my life at the moment.
Like your life.
Life, wow.
I thought you were thriving.
Well, not anymore because I am
Never
having
better.
I am never better, but I have been better in this case.
What happened?
Oh my God. Well, after my cat almost threw up in my bed and I had to deal with that situation, I made my way to the washroom and I don't like to turn the full light on in the bathroom first thing. I have like a little night light that goes on, like it's motion centered. So I go in there, use the washroom, and I go to flush and I like reach behind me and the handle just like flops off, like falls on the ground. And I'm like,
Disintegrated to the floor.
Ooh.
I'm like, okay. So I pick it up and I try to put it back in the thing and then I realize, well, that's not going to work. So then I get up and I take the lid off of it because now I'm starting to panic because I know I'm going to have to make a call to my landlord.
Well, first you got to see if the chain's attached.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm starting to panic because I'm like, oh God, like what happens if he comes over and it's like, and I can't flush. So then I go to try to flush and then the whole thing breaks. I don't know, the chain broke. Then this little stick thingy that was holding the chain, it fell into the bottom
all
of the
attached.
tank.
That comes in a
Oh,
package.
yeah, your whole thing got dismantled.
I don't know
there.
what happened, but I just immediately was like, oh my God, the
So
toilet
there's-
is completely out of commission.
So now the toilet's out of commission. There's pee
Yes.
in the bowl,
Yes.
There
and
is
you
pee
have
in the
to
bowl.
call.
Well, I already emailed. I said there's a
Oh,
bit of a
you email
situation
your
this
guy.
morning. Yeah.
Well,
We're on an
coulda-
email basis.
Could have been. Well, I mean, most people are. You got to let your
Yes.
landlord know, and
Yes.
you're out of the house this morning or out of the apartment, so he can head over there and have a look.
Yeah.
But that's bad news. Like it could have been worse, though. It could have been worse, and I don't
Really?
use your imagination
Yeah.
on how that could have been worse.
Certainly could have been.
That's 100% what could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the thing is that like I was panicked in that situation. Like what happens if I'm at home and I have to go and my toilet's broken?
Just keep going. Just build it all up until he gets there. Sorry,
You know,
man.
Can you just, I'm going to put a note. Do
You
not
panicked.
lift the lid.
you panicked because I'm not very handy, but there's probably something in there that just kind of fell off that
Well,
you
it
could
all fell
probably
apart.
yeah, but
Like,
it's,
it was-
it's pretty simple, that stuff.
The
Where-
handle's attached to that
Yeah.
chain. It all sort of
To the
works.
plastic.
Yeah, yeah. But it could have.
a
Some of
lug,
those,
you know, it's got that little
Yeah.
screw or lug there. That's probably what
they
fell
fall
off.
apart though. Like
Yeah.
so that you could. He's probably just needs some new parts. He probably fixes it. Not probably. He would fix something like that every week, so it'll be quick.
Well, it's a good thing because I do need my seat tightened as well because it's getting a little
Well,
bit
that
like.
you can do yourself. You just go underneath and.
See, I don't know.
Oh, your seat's got the wiggles now?
Well, it did have the
Yeah,
wiggle,
yeah.
so now I also included that. And while you're there, can you also tighten the seat?
Oh, you can.
We're
you
getting a lot
included-
of free advice here. We're getting a lot of free advice about pouring a full bucket of water into the bowl.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
flush on its own, Kirby.
Oh, like into the back.
No, just dump it right into the bowl.
pour it into
bucket
the
of water.
toilet.
It'll flush it down. It'll send
It'll
it
flush down your.
I don't think she's too worried about that though. If it was a deuce, you might want to
Well,
get.
that's the thing is I got to go home
Well, she
after work,
seems
and I
to.
don't know what his ETA
Are you worried
is,
about
but-
the pee that's in there?
Yeah, well,
Is that
I'm worried about
embarrassing
having
for
to
you?
use the bathroom when I get home.
Oh, so you could use it and then dump the water down after.
Yeah.
Or can we get a porta potty outside your apartment
Oh,
door?
let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
get the King Flush there set up or
I
whatever,
mean,
and
there's
then
construction not too far over, so they can just wheel
See
it
if
down the
s-
street.
See if
they
can.
can.
Not
They
you.
can.
Well,
not you.
why would I?
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast. Would you rather? Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday?
Boston Pizza text line if you want to play along. 762-555. We love it when you participate. Would you rather Wednesday, Kirby? Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? So 10 minutes or 150 years?
I guess it would help if I turned my microphone on. I would say 150 years in the future so that I could make some sort of like, I don't know, difference in the meantime. Because in 150 years, I'm not going to be around.
So you'll look 150 years into the future and go, oh boy, I got to change some things so I can impact change in society 150 years from now.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's
It doesn't make sense to me, that answer, to be honest. But I'll tell you why.
Do you want me to break it down?
Well, you can if you like,
Sure,
but I thought
yeah.
you just did.
Well, I don't know. Like I would look 150 years in the future to see like what we're challenged with, right? And then I would try to advocate for like change now. Does that make sense?
Well, you said you won't be around in 150
No, but I can
years.
still try to make a difference when I'm alive.
Right.
like pollution.
Yes.
Yeah, like, you know,
ozone
like-
layer. I see. I'm with Joe. At first, I was like, "What?" But now that you explain
Yes.
it a little further,
Yes.
we
Makes
got
more
you.
sense.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes that's me. I got to explain myself a lot.
I'm going to go with 10 minutes in the future because that's the present still, and it might help me from making some major mistakes if I can see 10 minutes ahead. Do you know what I mean? Like in
Car
decision
accident.
making.
Think of that, yeah.
Something like that. Or decisions. Because you can still help the future with that too.
Yeah.
I can't look 150 years down the road because that's
Well,
just...
prime example. Remember, I screwed up on a name around the office. Jason.
Yeah.
Great guy. I called him Kevin.
Yeah.
If I could see 10 minutes in the future, I would know that I was going to screw that up, and I could,
Yeah, they'd have a little bit more respect for you to this day in the office. But I will say this, too. I don't know if anybody can predict 150 years down the road, so I don't know how much you could advocate now for something that far down the road, is what I'm saying.
People would look at you like you're crazy. Listen, in 150 years.
Yeah.
That's true.
Would you rather, moving on, have a face that everyone laughs at or a name that everyone laughs at? A face that... Who laughs at someone's face?
Well, that's mean. I'm going to
Kirby?
say a name because then at least then if I could always use like an alias.
Change your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, a face that everyone laughs at or a name?
Well, yeah, that is kind of mean, isn't it, Curbs? Let's go with the name. I mean, listen, I've got the most average name of all, Joe.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I'd have to go with the name. Funny name. It's a conversation starter. How'd you get that name?
Yeah,
You know, kind of thing. How'd you get that face? You see, it's not
Look at
the
that
same.
face, like,
Dude.
yeah, nobody
Sorry, I
wants that.
can't stop laughing at your face.
Dude, what's up with your face? Would you rather always have to wear heavy steel-toe boots everywhere you go or never be able to wear shoes? So you think today, what's it going to be, 31 today, Joe?
Yeah, 29.
Kirby, you probably have jean shorts on or a sundress. I haven't.
I got shorts on, yeah.
Okay, shorts, but you'd have to wear heavy steel-toe boots.
What a look.
Clomp, clomp, clomp. And you're already a loud walker. So can you
Oh,
imagine?
yeah, thanks for
Well,
pointing
no,
that out.
authoritative.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
already an
I
authoritative.
walk with authority, as you say.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
That's right, even with sandals.
So I don't think the steel-toed boots are going to be a help for me. I'm going to go barefoot.
Barefoot everywhere?
It's going to suck in winter. I'm going to be honest.
that would be rough.
Walking on rocks, like if anybody's walked in their driveway before, that can be like on gravel.
That does make sense for you, though, because you don't like wearing socks and that. You like to be barefoot. I have to go with the boots. I can't go all year just barefoot. There's no way.
Wouldn't
Mowing the
work.
lawn.
Would not
Your
work.
steel-toed boots.
Going to events in bare feet.
Yeah. Hey, nice suit. What happened to the shoes? Can't even walk into some restaurants and get service. At least with work boots, I could eat there.
Okay, finally, we'll wrap up with this one. Would you rather, Kirby, wear a Dracula cape everywhere you go? So we're back to something you'd have to wear, a Dracula cape or a pirate eye patch?
Ooh, capes are badass.
There's no one that's not important that doesn't wear a cape.
Well, and you can make a very grand exit or entrance with a cape, I feel like, like, ta-da!
Yeah.
Superhero.
Yeah.
You could have a cape. I got to go with the eye patch. I think it'd be cool. You can accessorize your eye patch a little bit more. I think as a bigger guy, a cape would make me look bigger. I'm going to go with the eye patch.
And the hot weather, again, back to the hot weather, but a cape. And the eye patch is a story starter. Like
Yeah.
the pirate.
What happened?
How'd you lose your eye?
Nothing. I didn't. I just like to wear the eye patch.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Philly, Joe, and Kirby's completely useless question.
Useless with a capital Y.
So useless.
Brought to you by Midtown Ford.
Burt Block Party tickets up for grabs right now. This is for 92.1 City Night, Saturday, August 24th. Headstones, I Mother Earth, Sloan, and you can win these tickets right now. Joe has the question.
A survey showed that 40% of women and 20% of men who do not have this secretly wish they did.
40% of men.
Nope.
Oh.
40% of women.
Yeah.
20% of men who don't have this secretly wish they did.
It's a tough one this morning. Hi, City.
I would have to say kids.
Pardon me?
Kids, I think she
Number
said.
2 answer if you said kids.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Children, number 2. 40% of women, 20% of men who do not have this secretly wish they did.
Good try. Hi, City.
Can I get Billy?
Mm-hmm.
Phil?
Let's go with a cabin.
Third answer, vacation home cottage. And you said this was a tough one. You guys nailed 2 and 3.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe it's not as hard.
I think the correct answer is a hard one because it's way off from children and the cottage answer.
Okay. Hi, City.
Can I get how about your own pillow?
We're having a real hard time hearing you. I don't know if...
Must be in a bad area.
Yeah, bad area.
Pillow?
A pillow?
Yeah.
A pillow? No. Way for good way to decipher. Like, I mean, honest to God, you could have been like undercover or something, man. Like on a stakeout, the way you were making on some of those audio tapes. I thought those were the Gotti files or something. Where we got terrible audio. Bring in Phil Aubrey.
I thought he was going to say, "We have your children," like he was one of those hostage movies. 780 City. Good morning.
Good morning. Can I have a lifeline, please?
Philly or Kirby?
Let's go Kirby.
Kirby. We've nailed number 2 with children. Number 3 was cottage. 40% of women, 20% of men who do not have this secretly wish they did.
I'm going to say a tattoo.
It's not a tattoo, but you're going down the right road as far as thinking that way.
Okay.
For Burt Block Party tickets, 780 City. Go ahead with your guess.
Billy, help me out.
So is it something on your body then?
That's right, my friend.
Wish they had a piercing somewhere?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Wow.
The assist going to Shalinda Kirby, right over to her pal Phil Aubrey with the win. A piercing. 40% of women, 20% of men who do not have a piercing secretly wish they did.
Wow.
Interesting.
You're right. I wouldn't have. You don't hear people, yucking it up about, I really wish I had a piercing.
That's because it's secretly wishing.
Oh, you don't.
It's in the question.
It's like the fact that you secretly wish that you had your nipples pierced.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
He said just one.
Yeah.
Like, now you're going a little overboard and saying both.
But I'm pretty open about that. I'll talk to anybody. I really wish they were
People he
pierced.
just met at the grocery store.
If you look at these nipples, do you think they would
Take a look. Which one, left or right?
Philly, Joe, Kirby.
Philly, Joe, and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly, Joe, and Kirby podcast.
St. Vital Outdoor Pool had dozens of people waiting in line for nearly 45 minutes before they could get inside. And according to the city's online pool reservation hub, St. Vital Outdoor Pool is booked for the rest of the week. So you're going to have to either utilize your backyard sprinkler or hit up one of those spray pads.
Sprinkler's the best. Just to turn it on. It's the easiest for a parent. All right, now. Go run through it or something. I don't know. Get on the front grass.
We know a few people that actually rent out their pools, like as if it was an Airbnb or something, but for pool parties.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
I've never actually done that,
No.
but you do see it on social media and such. But I can rent out my front yard with a sprinkler.
Yeah. Your 2 hours are up. Let's go. Come on. I got another family coming in.
You just turn the sprinkler off. All right, get
That's
out of
it.
here.
It's like the car washes. When the coin op is done, the water just...
Get off my lawn.
Is it just the front yard, though? I'd like
Just
a
the
little
front
bit more
yard.
privacy.
No, it's a front yard. I'm not letting you in my backyard.
Plus, it's great advertising. Front yard. Hey, what's going on there? Looks like he rents out his front yard and sprinkler because no one else can offer that up. We don't have that at home.
Just the cheapest looking sprinkler and hose.
Do we have to bring our own chair?
Bring your own chair.
Oh, you
Supplying
don't even
chairs.
supply a chair.
That's the premium package. It's $15 extra.
You should see what he charges for like some antipasto platters to come out like.
Am I able to use the bathroom inside?
No.
Well,
you definitely need to use someone else's bathroom. Yours is broken.
Break my toilet.
I was thinking about renting Phil's front yard for a bit.
What happened? The guy's been in the bathroom for 20 minutes.
Hurry up, buddy. Let's go.
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.